Hello, so welcome everyone. Welcome if you're with me today live doing this practice, and welcome if you're watching it at a future time. So my name is Padmadarshini, and I'm leading this practice from my home in Manchester. And we're going to do a simple practice. We're going to start on the floor, so you'll need a setup like this, a blanket to lie on, and a blanket for your head, and then we're going to come up to standing and do a little bit of work in the vertical position, and then we're going to come back and relax at the end. So that's the sequence that we're going to go through. So set yourself up as best you can with your laptop or phone or whatever, so you can see this space where I will be in a moment. So I'm going to invite you to start by coming and creating your space and then coming to lie down. And once you've come to lie down, however your body wants to lie down. So I'm going to start with my legs bent in the semi-supine position, but feel free to extend your legs, or you could lie on your side or on your front. So whatever will be comfortable. And take a few breaths where you breathe out, sigh out through your mouth. Breathe in through your nose, and just a few times, sighing out through your mouth. Let your eyes close if you're happy to, comfortable to. Or if you prefer to keep your eyes open, let them be soft. So you're not looking, you're not focusing on anything in particular. And feel the contact, whatever part of your body is resting on the ground, feel that contact. And just a general sense of the tone and texture and feeling of your body. So noticing any tension, any tightness, anywhere that's uncomfortable or painful. You might get a sense of how your energy is. Just a general sense of how you are as we begin your emotional weather today. Just giving yourself a bit of space to listen, to be, to notice yourself. So as we go through the practice, really listen to your body. It's quite simple, the things we're going to be doing, but if you're getting some feedback from your body that what I'm offering isn't okay, then please follow your own track. So I'm going to start off a little bit of movement of my head and neck. So I'm imagining feeling into the tip of my nose. You could imagine there's a paintbrush on the tip of your nose, and you're going to start to draw the tiniest of tiny little circles you can. Let your lips slightly part. Let your eyes rest. So if you've got your eyes closed, a sense of your eyes resting back towards the back of your head, and feeling the shifting sensations. You can let this circle spiral outwards. So start to draw a spiral. And as you do that, the movement will get a little bit bigger. So yeah, just letting your breath flow naturally. And you might have a sense that with this movement that you're inviting your brain to release, to relax, to let go. Feeling this shifting weight and contact through the back of your head, the back of your skull. And you can make this spiral as large as feels comfortable. At some point, when you're ready, just pause. And then go back, spiral the other way. This time you're spiraling from the outside in. And then as you come back to the center of your head, see if you can get a sense of the weight settling on the very center of the back of your skull. And pause there. So now I'm going to go down into my pelvis and I'm going to make a kind of similar movement, a circular movement, a clock movement. Imagine 12 o'clock at your pubic bone, your tailbone, 6 at your belly button or the back of the waist behind your belly button, then 9 at the left hip and 3 at the right side of the pelvis. So we're going to let your weight, you're not lifting it, you're just tilting it. So I'm going to the 12, rocking towards the 3, the 6, the 9, and the 12. So yeah, I've got my hands on my belly. I could take my hands out to the side and do whatever feels most supportive. And there's feeling the shifting of weight now in this central hub of your body. Also, this can give you some information about how your back feels today. And you'll also feel that as your pelvis moves, of course, that means your spine starts to move as well. You might feel the movement coming up even into your head, even though our focus is in the middle of our body. I'm going to reverse direction. Oh, and then just pause. Let's bring our knees into our chest. Take a little rocking movement there. Then I'm going to come over and I'm going to lie on my front and let the front of my body come onto the ground, meet the ground. So rolling nice and easy to your sides and come onto your front. So if you don't find lying on your front or comfortable, you could put something like I could put a blanket here or a cushion under you. So I'm just showing you what that might look like. I like to have my arms above my in line with my elbows in line with my ears, so my arms at head side. You could have them by your side. See which is most comfortable. Arms up means there's less weight on your head and neck, which can feel good. And then from there, I'm going to take this blanket out. From there, just feel your weight on the ground. And let's come back to taking 3 or 4 exhalations, sighing out through our mouths. I'm breathing in through my nose and out through my mouth. And then just letting the breath return to normal. Just let it be however it naturally is. I'm going to see if I can find this rocking movement in the pelvis. So we're back in the attention into the central hub of our bodies. I'm finding this little rocking movement. You can sigh out, breathe out through your mouth still if you like that. My body seems to like that today. Oh. So we might have a sense of softening, releasing tension, just the kind of tensions that all of us accumulate in the course of our everyday living and life. And rocking, shaking, jiggling movements, a very natural way to discharge tension. That's what we do with a crying baby. We rock them, we shake them, we cradle them. I'm going to let that movement go. And maybe it's an afterflow of sensation there, tingling, shimmering. Let's take one lower leg up. So you're resting on the front of the thigh, and then you're going to circle that lower leg and foot. Really resting on the front of your body, belly, chest, head. I'm going to change the direction of the circling of my leg. And I'm going to let the movement go. Before I bring the foot all the way down, I'm going to come onto my toes and just lift the leg so it clears the ground. And imagine you're creating length, space at the very front of the hip or the groin. And then let that go, let the leg, just let it come to the floor. And feel for a moment the difference between the two sides, two hips, two legs. You can feel some difference in sensation, awareness, how you experience this hip and leg. Let's take our second leg up and start to do the same, circling. Noticing any difference between the two sides. I'm going to change direction. Really resting on your front body. Feel the contact through your belly, your chest, whatever part of your head is on the ground. Okay, letting that movement go. Same thing, I'm going to come onto the toes and just let the whole leg clear the floor. Reach the heel away. Lengthening the front of the hip away from your pelvis, and then release the leg. Pause there. Feel your legs. I've got a lovely feeling of my legs kind of falling out away from my hips and pelvis. And feel your breath. Let's find that rocking again of the pelvis. Give it your breath. Maybe breathe out. Sound the exhalation. And then when you're ready, let the rocking go and just pause. There's something really delicious about letting the whole front of your body rest on the ground. Feel that. So we're going to return onto our backs from here. So find the easiest way to transition onto your back. And we'll see if we can find another pulsing, rocking movement here. When you lie down, if the weight really comes towards the top of the back of your skull, then you may need to put a little bit of support there, a bit of folded blankets. I'm going to be all right without that today. I'm in semi-supine with my knees bent, feet on the floor, and I'm going to find this little pulse from my feet. So it's a little impulse, a little push from the floor that sends a pulse all the way through my whole structure of my body. Whole skeleton is being gently rocked from this movement. I'm going to add in an arm movement, which is starting with my arms by my sides. I'm just going to let my arms nice and gently float up and float down. I'm not locking my wrists or my elbows. My joints are all slightly flexed, slightly bent, and I'm maintaining all the time this pulse from my feet. So this is really great for pumping fluid into the intervertebral discs of the spine. Also, it helps to move the lymph fluid. That's part of the immune system, our lymphatic drainage system, which relies on movement in the body to move fluid through the lymph ducts. Okay, I'm going to keep my arms down, and then I'm slowly going to walk, keep the pulse going, but creep my feet away from my bum. So the feet are getting slowly, gradually further away. At a certain point, I'll want to come onto my heels. It's quite a nice, so I'm flexing my ankles and I'm finding that impulse from my heels. And then I'm going to keep going. If you look at my feet are kind of flapping. And I'm keeping going, sending my feet further and further away. And my legs are gradually coming all the way to straight. And then this can be quite dynamic, quite energetic. The pulse from the heels. If you look at you have to really work with your ankles, flex your ankles and extend your ankles to send the movement through the whole structure, the whole skeleton, your whole body. So you're probably working quite hard now in some muscles and your feet and legs. So keep going just a little bit longer if you can. A few more breaths flowing naturally. Okay, and then when you're ready, just let it go. If your back isn't comfortable with your legs out straight, then straight away bend them up. If you're comfortable like this, then pause here for a moment. Okay, having done that movement, let's bend up our knees once again, and we're going to arch and flex our spine. So this is maybe a very familiar movement. So I've got my arms out to the side. Imagine again the 12 o'clock at your pubic bone, 6 o'clock at your navel. So as you breathe in, you're going to roll weight towards your tailbone, arch the back. So you'll find there's a little gap comes under your back. I could get my hand through. And then as I breathe out, I'm flattening. So it goes light on my tailbone and my navel center is pulled towards the center of the earth. I'm breathing in, I'm arching. And I'm breathing out and flattening. And this movement potentially comes through our whole spine. So let your chest join the movement, your upper spine. Let your neck somehow find its way to join the movement. Let it come through into your skull and your head. And feel the change in shape, the front and the back body. So as we arch, the front of the spine lengthens. As we flatten the back surface, the back side of the spine lengthens. A couple more times each way. And then just pause there, rest again. Okay, so from here we're going to just carry on. Let's bring our knees into our chest, have a little rest, and then we're going to do one more thing for the hips before we come up to standing. I'm going to take my legs up, have a shake out. Always good. Ugh. Let's add our arms in. See if you can relax your ankles and your wrists, like you're shaking off your feet and hands, and then your knees and your elbows, and then your shoulders and your hips. So all these vital joints. Okay, from there, I'm going to bring my feet back down, so back to my semi-supine with my knees bent. And the movement I'm going to do is I'm going to let one knee fall to the side, slide the legs straight, turn the toes in and slide it in. So this might be a familiar movement for some of you. And I'm feeling the rolling of my pelvis along with the movement of my thigh in my hip sockets. I'm going to change, same leg, I'm going to change direction. I'm going to switch over to the second leg, knee falls out to the side, leg slides away. And then I'm going to change direction. Okay, from there, I'm going to bring both knees into my chest, another little shake out, and I'm going to prepare to come up off the floor now. I'm going to find my way up to standing. So I'm going to roll to my side. So take your time. Use the floor, the ground to push into to support you. And you might need to just take a moment to rearrange how you've got your space. And I'm going to move this up. Oops. So set yourself up so you can see me. I've lost my head there. Okay, we'll get you all there. Yeah, that's good. So from here, just bring your feet so they're parallel to each other. Let's just take a moment. I'm going to close my eyes, put my arms hand by my side. Just take a moment to arrive. So if you feel unbalanced or wobbly or dizzy with your eyes closed, of course, keep them open. Put my knees a little bit soft and planting my feet. Just feeling arriving in this vertical position. And hopefully you feel in a bit of a different place to how you did before you lay down and did all that work. So we're going to have a little focus. We'll do a little bit shoulders and spine here. First of all, I'm going to find my water bottle. It's one of my regular standing movements as a way of releasing, hydrating, discharging tension. So got my knees a little bit soft, ankles. And I'm finding this little bounce. So just like shaking a water bottle. And then I'm going to add in my monkey movement, which is scratching your armpit. So what this is doing is giving the spine a lateral movement. If you want to take it, make it a little bit stronger, so you can stay with the monkey that scratches his armpit, or I'll have to move back a little bit. You can let the arm come up. You can't quite see my hand, but you could imagine this monkey is reaching to pluck some fruit. keeping my feet really planted. And I like to, you can do this movement with the bounce, keeping the water bottle, which is what I tend to do, or I could just let go of the bounce and just have the lateral movement. But yeah, I really like to find the buoyancy, the springiness. I'm going to go back to the armpit. That's it. Really feeling the sensations between your shoulder and your hip. So this is a very good movement for our spine. My weight stays even on the 2 feet throughout. Okay. I'm going to just let that go. And then from there, I'm going to bring my hand to my shoulder, one shoulder, and I'm going to do some shoulder circles. So I've got there's a little, I enjoy this little kind of give of the knees as I come down. I'm going backwards. I've deliberately started going backwards. You might have started going forwards, that's fine. I'm going to change direction. So I'm now swinging the arm forwards. And then I'm going to change direction and go backwards. So whatever direction you're in, have the last few going backwards. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to take the same arm. I'm going to shake it out, wrist, elbow, shoulder. Okay, now, same arm, we'll do the whole sequence on one side. I'm going to I'm imagining that in my hand is a mirror, and I'm going to bring that mirror in front of my face. And then I'm going to shine the mirror into my ear. So if you could reflect the inside of your ear, and then the back of the head, and then up. So you lost my hand there, so it's going up. And then down, and then to my face, to my ear, to the back of my head, and up. And I'm just going to keep going with that movement. From the side, you can see I'm taking my, really opening here, the front of the shoulder. My feet stay planted. And then once I've kind of got the feeling for the movement, I might make it a little bit more fluid. So it's not quite such as kind of a movement, but a bit smoother. A bit like round the edges. Yeah. And it could be stay quite slow, or you might want to speed it up a little bit. So I quite like making it quite a dynamic movements, warming, energizing. Oh, that feels great actually. I'm going to do a couple more. Okay, and then I'm just going to let that arm hang. Shall we give it another little shake? And just roll the shoulder down the back. And before I do all that on the other side, let's just pause. And I can see myself here in my laptop screen, and I can just see how different this right arm is hanging, and you can probably see it too. And my left arm feels a bit kind of empty. In comparison, my right arm feels light and free and okay, so switch sides, hand to shoulder, circling. So like me, you might be on your, I don't know, slightly tighter, or for me it feels a bit crunchy on this side. I've been mostly going backwards. Well, I've been going backwards so far. I'm going to do a few going the other way. Just aware of my breath here, not holding. Okay, I'm going to switch to going backwards again. Oh. Okay, I'm going to bring it down, give it a shake. And then the same movement, so it's like the mirror in front of my face, so it can mirror sees the inside of my ear, and then to the back of my head. So you really here, so you've really got to open through this front of the shoulder and up. And then so face, ear, back of the head and up. And then sweep it down. So find the pace that feels that feels good. Ooh, I've got a bit of a crunch. I don't know if the microphone's picking it up. Okay, I'm going to do one more. Give it a shake. And then just let both arms, got shaking both arms now. Just let's see how that is. Yeah, look a bit more even now. And then my right arm is still hanging a bit more free from my body. But maybe close your eyes, just feel that. Feet planted, arms hanging, shoulders softening away from your ears. Let's find our water bottle again. So let your eyes open. I'm going to come back to a little bit of this. So let's do some spinal curl down. So if this isn't familiar, if this is familiar, just come with me. If this is less familiar for you, I'm going to turn sideways so you can see me. I'm going to bend my knees so that I can really fold from here. When we're folding, we don't want to be bending from this part of our back. We always want to fold from the hips. So I'm going to bring my chin down so the back of my neck lengthens, bend my knees, and it's like I'm drawn down by the crown of my head. My arms not reaching for anything. At the bottom, let go your head, shake out your arms. When you're ready to come up, it's like a little tug on your tailbone, as if your tailbone were dangling between your legs and it was tugged down towards your heels. And then as you come up, you sequence through your belly, solar plexus, lungs, heart, throat, head. Yeah. Before the next one, let's just put a little bit of our monkey movement in. It's quite good to sequence these two together. A nice little sequencing. I know a couple of times each side. I've got my bounds there again. And then I'm just turning sideways so you can see me. Chin, the length, the very crown of your head is pulled towards the earth. Feet spreading into the ground. Have a little shake out there. Shake your wrists, your elbows, your shoulders, your head. Little bounce through your feet. Knees are bent under you, and then tail nudges down, and you're going to uncurl. So your head comes up last. I want to set up the scaffolding of support. So my head can arrive without any strain on the neck, on top of my spine. And then I'm going to go again. Let's do a couple more times this. Yeah. And then chin down, crown of your head to the earth. Little know of the head as you fold it forward, shake of the arms, bounce from the feet. So really plant your feet, feel the support of your legs alive, like massive tree trunks, you know how alive and strong and visceral they are, especially at this time of year. So that you've got the support of your legs under you as you unfurl your branches and leaves. Let's bring the arms up this time. Let your arms come up. And then you can bring your arms back down. Let's do one more. So I'm coming back to my lateral movement. I'm going to do a couple of times. And then through the center, chin down, let the weight of my head be drawn to the earth. So if that image of the trees, the kind of aliveness, visceral, of the massive tree trunks. You could think of your legs as the tree trunks, your spine coming out of it, your arms as the leaves, that the spine as the branches and your arms as the leaves. So when you're ready, going down through your roots, the sap rises up, really alive through your spine, and then find your arms. And stay there with let your feet, your roots through your feet press into the earth, your fingertips like branches of the leaves. or the buds at this time. You're reaching into the space. You're breathing. And then let your arms come back down and just pause there. Let your arms hang, soften or close your eyes, just take a moment there. So let's put something in, a movement in now that puts a little bit of rotation through the spine. So we're giving our spine in quite gentle ways all the ranges of movement that it likes to go through. So it likes to flex and extend, which we've done a little bit of it on the floor. It likes to flex laterally, that's to the side, and the other one is to rotate. So this movement will give us a bit of rotation. I'm going to step my feet wider, so you may know this one. Bend my knees. I had the image of a maypole, so a central axis, and then with the ribbons of the maypole being our arms and our torso moving. So our torso, your spine is the central axis. I'm going to soften my knees. The knees are a little bit bent. My feet are a little bit wide. And find my little bounce. And then the movement starts here. So I'm keeping my knees bent so I can let the movement come in my pelvis. And as I let go my arms, I'm letting them be the ribbons of the maypole. And your tail to head, the spine, the central pillar, the axis. Yeah. And to add in, so you don't have to do this, but to add in a little bit more of a rotation, I'm going to turn my feet. So whichever side my arms are going to, I'm going to pivot on the heel. I'll do it now. And turn out the ball of the foot. Yeah, I pivot on the heel, and the toes and the ball of the foot. Turn out. You can give it a little bit of sound, sighing, and also you can probably hear my hands giving a little tap to your kidneys in the back body. So I'm breathing out through my mouth here, in through my nose, and out through my mouth. Okay, imagine a pendulum slowly coming back to stillness. Rather than just stopping, I'm going to let it come back. And once it's come, I'm just going to bring my feet under my hips once again. Pause, eyes open or closed. Pause. Can you feel a tingling and vibrating in your body? I hope so. I certainly can. You let your feet spread into the ground. And just feel yourself here. Our body's filled with sensation. Sensation is always happening. And always available for us to tune into and kind of embodied grounding, home, place of coming home to our embodied self. So we're going to set ourselves up. We're going to come back down to the floor. So make yourself comfortable so that you can, you could sit. I'm going to talk as if you were lying down, but if you prefer to sit, that's also fine. So what would feel good? So you might want to put a blanket over you. You might want to put socks on, a jumper on, be warm. It's worth taking the time to be really comfortable. And you might find it's more comfortable to put a bolster, or if you haven't got a bolster, you can get a blanket, something like this, and you can make a roll, or even a couple of pillows that you put underneath your thighs and backs of your knees and the lower part of your thighs. I'm showing that here. Often that's gives a little bit of traction and release to our lower backs, which can feel really nice. And certainly if you're somebody for whom lying with your legs extended just isn't okay. Or if you don't find lying on your back for periods of time comfortable at all, you consider lying on your front. Okay, so so set yourself up so you're comfortable and you're warm. Somewhere that you can be for about, feel that you can rest for about 10 minutes. And then once you're set up, just see if there's anything at all that you can do to make yourself a little bit more comfortable. And maybe just notice how you've placed your arms and your hands. Does it feel can you make any more space in your chest by how you position your arms and your hands? And also your legs. So any little adjustments that you can make to be a bit more comfortable. And then once you set yourself up, let your eyes close. There might be a kind of a sense of letting your eyes rest back. So they're not seeking for stimulation. The visual channels probably are most active of our senses in our culture. So it's like our eyes are continually out on stalks looking. So if we were to just let go of the looking, let our eyes rest back. Let your head rest back into the ground. So often when we come to relax at the end of a movement practice, sometimes you might have heard this talking about yielding our weights. And there's sort of two aspects to yielding. And I thought we could just explore those a little bit here. So the first aspect or element of yielding is giving our weights. So that's the first aspect. So as you lie here, I'm going to talk as if you've got your back body to the ground, so make the adjustment yourself if you're in a different position. Let the whole back surface of your body, have a sense of the whole back surface of your body giving its weight to the ground. So that might be the floor that you're on, and you might be on ground floor level, or you might be high up in a flat somewhere. But wherever we are, our weight is always fundamentally, essentially resting on the earth. So ground, earth, floor, wherever you are, you're resting on the earth. So the whole back surface of your body, imagine it spreading, widening into the support of the earth. And then let's go through different parts. So let's start in our heads. So feel the back of your head. Feel the contact with the ground. And give your weight. And that might mean just bringing your awareness there. Might be all you need to do. Back of the head. Weight of your skull, your brain. And then come into your upper back. So we could say shoulders, shoulder blades. Maybe a sense of the shoulder blades spreading, bones of the shoulders releasing. Often a giving of weight feels of the breath out. For me, it's usually the breath out that supports a sense of giving weight. Backs of your arms, or whatever part of your arms are on the ground. Your elbows are resting, the elbow joints releasing their weight. Your lower arms, your hands, the whole of your arms and hands releasing their weight. And then coming back up to the shoulders and shoulder blades, maybe a sense of the whole back wall of your lungs and ribs. So the whole back of the chest, releasing weight, spreading, widening. And then moving into what we might call the lower back, so behind the navel, back of the waist, the lumbar area. Releasing, spreading, giving weight. Back of your pelvis, hips, buttocks. Breathing your weight down into the earth. Imagine the junction of the hips where your thighs meet your pelvis, a ball socket joint. Thighs falling out from your hips, releasing their weight. Got contact if you're resting your legs on a cushion or a bolster or blankets. Feel that contact, give weight into that contact. Knees, backs of your knees, lower legs. And whatever part of your feet meets the ground. And the whole back surface of your body. The whole back surface from your head to your feet. And as the back surface of your body gives weight, the whole inner body too can give its weight to the earth. And the second part, so that's the first part of yielding. And the second part is receiving. So we've been giving our weight. And the second part is receiving the support that can, as it were, kind of rise up from the earth into our bodies. So it's a slightly different quality, perhaps, being receptive. What's it like to be receptive in our body, in our body's cells and tissues? So could you have some sense of the whole back surface of your body, receptive to the support of the earth, and that can be in whatever form you need it, the support of the earth rising up into your body. The whole back surface of your body open, porous. And could you just allow, just very, very gently, just a sense of both these qualities, the giving of weight And in a way that might just mean being present, just our presence. In a way that's, if we're really present with our contact with the ground, we will be giving our weight. It's usually when we get pulled away into thinking that we pull away from the earth also. So can we be aware of giving weight and receiving the support? Something coming up from the earth into your body, to your cells and pores and body tissues. And you don't, not necessarily, that it might feel too contrived, but it might be helpful to, as you breathe out, give weight. Breathe in, receive. Breathe out, give weight. And breathe in, just let something rise up into your body to be received. So just, if that fits, you can try it on. If it resonates, keep it, and if it doesn't, just let it go. It's an interesting thing with little practices like this. We need to be present and have intention and attention, but we need to do it really, really gently, because trying isn't really, we can't use, there isn't, trying is too much. It's not a trying, yield is not a trying thing. It's much more nuanced and subtle than trying, and I'm sure you know the difference in your experience. At the same time, there's a certain showing up and being present without trying. And of course, we fall either way regularly, all of us, and practice just helps us to find our way back to that middle line, as it were, that middle way. So wherever you are, whatever you're in all of that, just let go doing anything, being, even let go the idea of yielding, and in a broad open way, just feel yourself there, how you are, how your body is. Particularly really great to notice anything that feels sort of open, spacious, nourished, connected, safe. Just really allow those experiences to be there and be noticed. Something that is talked a lot about, neuroscientists and so on, people studying the nervous system and the fight-flight response, say that we're hardwired for tracking danger and unpleasant experience, because that could kill us, basically. So really important survival, evolutionary survival thing. But actually, we're so hardwired in that way that we actually need to consciously put effort to look for where we feel safe, what's pleasant, nourishing, relaxing, spacious. We need to make an effort, a discipline of noticing those. So we anchor those in our nervous system as a kind of a really important resources. So we're going to think about ending this practice. If you want to just stay and rest, then you can just do that. And when you feel ready to come out, just come out slowly. So it's usually suggested move the peripheries first. So that might be a small movements of your head, like we began with, fingers, hands, toes, small rocking movements. So there's in the transition, you carry the practice with you, and how we transition between things makes all the difference, can be so important. So when you're ready to come up, you can roll to your side and just slowly rock a little bit maybe before you come up to sitting. Go well, everyone.